child.
Innocente-Catherine Rougé, Duchess of Elbeuf, welcomes you to her home. Glad to share the experiences of a poor old widow in these dark and dangerous times.
Ta-da! Do you see? Do you see what I did there? Every time those pesky revolutionaries arrived at my home to steal from me. Disguise? Oh, wait a moment. You're disguised already as poor people. Are your servants all naked at home?
Don't say that. Monsieur Saint-Just declares aristocrats now includes merchants, ordinary citizens.
Surely some of them will have a country estate. It is an act of charity, then, if the petit bourgeoisie need my advice. You are here this evening to learn how to maintain a civilized life in Paris despite the recent turmoil. Lesson number 1. Never be afraid of your weakness. My house is unguarded ever since the night of the 10th of August, 1792.
Don't call it that, Duchess. One must say lentil, thermidor.
The hatred of the Swiss against the people became so furious they even wanted to kill those in our houses. 10th of August, 1792. I'm talking, of course, of the evening the armed mob arrested His Majesty. A foolish coward for not securing the throne by force at once. Many Swiss guard perished. Shots rained down upon our door, but I managed to protect our Swiss doorman, Gustav, by hiding him in the wine cellar. Second lesson. If servants are loyal to one... Sophie Louise! You seem flushed.
I've been running. It's a lovely day.
You're late.
What is happening?
Oh, well, the Duchess is preparing for guests.
What? No one must come here.
Are there revolutionaries outside?
What are those lamps in your bodice?
Just a few bits for safekeeping.
You think you're an aristocrat?
Resist the urge to hide valuables about your person. No bauble is more precious than your head. Oh yes, angry mob. Oh, by the by, did you see the bullet holes on your way in? When I married my late husband, I remodelled the house, that neoclassical front, or me. The reason for my perfect memory is that I correspond with a dear friend every day.
I met someone at the market who knows you, Duchess.
I am well known. Who?
No one you know.
The trial of Marie Antoinette. Despite what people say, betraying France, etc., etc., at least she tried. If the king had stood up to the great unwashed on day 1, literally day 1, of course, with this mind-boggling Republican calendar, I used to see her in the Tuileries when she was held prisoner, pacing up and down.
Before her execution.
They bound her hands, shaved her head. The Queen of France! The king was allowed to go to his death in a carriage, but she was pulled in a cart through the streets with a jeering crowd. Her last words were to the executioner. As she climbed the steps to the guillotine, she trod on his foot. Pardon me, sir. I did not do it on purpose. Well, I bloody well hope she did. Lesson 3. If there is confrontation, stand up for yourself. When Elisabeth and I left Paris for my estates at Moray. I was branded an internal émigré in the press. Well, I came back, I wrote, and I had it corrected. Never let a false report go unchallenged. So, Moray, my late husband's dukedom, the Château des Elbeuf. Elizabeth's people came from there. Farm labourers. It's lovely, isn't it, Elisabeth? Moray, in summer. You should see it, Sylvie. The trees.
There are trees in Paris.
News had come of trouble at my estate. Peasants, even some of Elizabeth's extended family, had attacked my steward.
The mama pulls off her hoods to kiss her children goodbye.
May 1790.
One of them has broken free.
On entering Moray, we were menaced by insurrection. Poor people, more and more, like ants, onto the streets. A tip-off came that I and my steward would be lynched. Look here. Think of everything I've done for you. Remodelled your church. Improved the land. Before you start griping about bread, think who is doing the sowing and the reaping. If you're starving, work harder. See Elizabeth? Here? How I took her as an orphan to be my lady in Paris, gave her a smart new life at court. Step up, the man who dares kill us. No one did. Moony faces parted like a herd of cattle. I'd said to my friends, things are so bad, I'm off to Belgium. But after I dealt with the mob at Moray, I thought, sod bloody Belgium. I'll take my chance in Paris.
Stop it. Why are you pretending things can go back to normal? You'll never see aristocrats in this house again.
Blood coils like snakes towards the house.
You're no aristocrat. You're a peasant, poor like me. Take this, it might save your life.
Have you lost your mind?
The committee has enacted a new law. Being neutral is no longer an option, Elizabeth. We have to take a side.
I've taken my side against the revolution. Courage, Elizabeth. Courage shall prevail.
She pretends she's helping, but she thinks only of herself. Her poor aristocratic friends going to the guillotine. What about the thousands of poor who perish from overwork in their fields? Die from starvation, poor old women dead from disease.
Who is filling your head with these lies, Sylvie? Revolutionaries? Killers?
No.
What do you call them? Those brutes who stormed the Bastille?
One of them I would call my dear papa, who never spoke a word against the king, but took the tools from his workbench to join the assault on the prison. All he wanted was a better world for his children, to be judged by your actions, not your wealth or hereditary title. A good man, and yes, a revolutionary in the eyes of the armed guard who slaughtered him that night.
So you support the aims of the revolution?
Equality, liberty, sisterhood, why not?
It won't save you. You're not doing anything about it.
I am. I give her letters to a young man in the market. I show him your letters every day.
She doesn't. She's making it up.
He copies them.
Why would you do such a terrible thing?
Because he loves me and he's scared I'll die. If they come for you, they'll come for us.
Are they coming for me?
You have killed us. I never had a mother. She died when I was born. My father died in the war. I loved Moray. My playmates. The flowers in spring, corn in harvest, ice skating in winter. Everybody's children. But we pick the flowers, cut the corn, bake the bread. The ice melts, everything goes away. Even Marais. The Duchess said we were leaving the terror behind in Paris and returning home. People swarmed out their houses round the carriage to greet us. Madame Philippe from the baker's, her brother Jacques who makes the pies, and little Sophie, how she's grown. Are they all her children? So much life. No matter all the death and blood I saw in Paris, I am home. Then, shouting, dragging me on the market cross, see this orphan child. Is that me? Are they arguing over me? My former playmates, do they understand? Or do they see Elizabeth or their enemy, an aristocrat? How can I know what side I choose when no side has ever chosen me? I cannot choose because I never had a choice. No choice to stay or to come back. We will all die here, all of us. Who will even know? When the revolution has burned, king and queen and nobles and trees, farms, cities, years, months and hours. The fabric of time itself ripped to make hoods and bandages like masks. And even then the blood seeps through everywhere.
Elizabeth, please calm yourself. You must. You say I must do this, not this. The revolution says it is not Thursday. The fight is left and the blood is good. Servants are in charge now. We say what goes. Very well then. Be in charge. Me? Elizabeth is afraid. We're in danger.
My friend gave me this.
Sign.
It's not a sign, it's an apple. Eat it.
There was an apple in the Bible, Sylvie, a sign from God to warn you. God sent this apple as a message about avoiding temptation.
Maybe the apple has a message that you look malnourished.
You wouldn't be malnourished if someone wasn't stealing food for her mother. We divide the apple. That's what you want, isn't it, Sylvie? Sharing. Don't you think we should keep the apple whole? The knife slicing through it, the blade. Leave it. Make a pie. We all die. Everyone dies. But before that, we must look for if Sylvie wants to betray us.
I don't want to betray anybody. My friend will only act if someone denounces you.
Do you intend to hold this over us the whole time, Sylvie? Blackmail me for higher wages?
I'm not a counter-revolutionary. All I want is equality and my rights.
If you decide to make a present of my letters to the committee out of spite...
You'll have to trust me.
We must trust one another.
Liberty, equality, sisterhood.
I shall start my letter for tomorrow.
You'll write another after all I've said.
She never delivers them. Apart from, as it turns out, having them copied by her boyfriend. She brings them back.
To you. I know Sylvie doesn't deliver them. I know you keep them safe. All my friends are gone. I write the letters to myself. Who knows? Maybe one day someone other than Sylvie's friend will read them and discover what we've been through. Final lesson. We are living in times when it is dangerous to be neutral. Even if you have no strength to fight for what you believe in yourself. Believe in one another.
Avec des snobs qui sont un peu trop cool. Il me faut tous la gueule depuis que je me suis fait raser la boule. Avant j'étais technique et je fumais du acquis. Maintenant je me prends des flashs avec des grosses moustaches. C'est plus économique, c'est plus pratique. Je suis back, c'est fantastique. On a monté un groupe avec des potes qui sont pas musiciens. Nous on fait pas de la souffle et quand on joue ça fait hurler les chiens. J'ai largué mes bijoux et je porte autour du cou une épingle à pourris et une tranche de foie de génisse. C'est plus économique, c'est plus pratique. Je suis fan, c'est fantastique. Allez, joue!